I want to talk about some data that I collected, which really talks about this staff issue a little more. And I want you to look at this carefully. I want to get into a discussion about this because we have a small group enough to do this. So a few years back, I actually, we'll turn the lights down. Way to turn the lights down up here. Sorry about that. Every summer for the last 8-9 summers, I collect data in summer camps. I train about between 1,500 and 2,000 camp staff every summer. So I've been collecting data, and I want to show you some stuff on staff issues and how it relates. But first, let's look at camper data. So I asked staff about camper behavior they saw the year before in terms of bullying. And this is pretty obvious data, which is that if you ask staff about bullying they saw, females and males, you can see that teasing, name calling, extremely common. Verbal threats, males do more. Gossiping and rumors, everyone's doing, right? Exclusion or click, same thing. Embarrassment. And the physical stuff, pushing, hitting, kicking, done more by males, but pretty high on the female side. And stealing of personal things, 50%. These numbers are pretty high, but not unusual, would you say? For campers, if you're a staff person and you have a bunch of campers, you're going to see this stuff in your camp. But what I did next was I asked staff about other staff that they experienced bullying from. So let's talk about what staff saw amongst each other. Teasing and name calling. About 50% females, 60% males, okay? That when you ask staff about their experience with other staff, this is what they saw. Verbal threats, a quarter of all females, 40% of males. Gossiping or rumors, pretty high. Exclusion or clicks, same. Embarrassment. And then we get down to the physical stuff. Pushing, hitting, kicking, not a big thing that male staff do, or female staff, under 25%. Stealing items could be fun, but we asked if these things that happened that they saw were actually hurtful to the other person, and they were. Does any of this surprise you? Or not really? All right, so one thing to think about, though, is that if we have this going on amongst our staff, what does it mean for what campers observe? Because campers look to staff for behavior. Campers want to see good behavior, or if they see not good behavior, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to, what's that? They're going to copy it, right? So I thought, okay, this is not that uncommon, this is retrospective, but then what I did the next year was I actually asked staff who had been to orientation for 48 hours to fill out these same questionnaires to see what happened among staff in the first 48 hours of getting together with other staff. So I do staff training, so I go up during orientation times. So this data happens in the first 48 hours. All right, so let's look at this together. Teasing and name calling. Verbal threats, not much. Gossiping and rumors. Exclusion and cliques. Embarrassment in front of others, quarter. Physical stuff, not so much. Stealing personal things, not so much. What stands out for you in this data? Exclusion, right? Yeah. And this happens, when you bring your staff together for orientation, before campers come, how quickly does this stuff start to root? Right away, right? So that's a big problem. Because if we see this happening in the first 48 hours of staff getting together, what's going to happen during the summer if we don't knock this stuff out or deal with it from the get-go?